Wim Hof, about breathing techniques and all. You were the one that I was reading, but I also know about Wim Hof also as a Dutchie. I'm from the
Of
Netherlands. But
course.
honestly, I have a lot of friends which are practicing his breathing techniques. I don't, because I don't like the cold showers and all. But what is your view on the Wim Hof methods, and what are there some similarities, and what are the differences between the oxygen advantage and Wim Hof? But first of all, your view on it.
Like all breathing techniques, they should be tailored according to the individual who is doing them. And I've made plenty of mistakes with breathing techniques, using breath holds, putting people into panic attacks, people with chronic fatigue syndrome. We have to consider that the Wim Hof method is a stressor. Hyperventilation is a stressor, and long breath holds are a stressor. You've got a double stress there. We also have to consider that doing the long breath hold, especially during the third cycle, blood oxygen saturation can drop to below 80%. When it hits 70%, you're getting disoriented. When it goes below 60 and 50%, there's a risk of passing out. But there's also a reduced blood flow to the brain. I have a question as to whether it's good to be reducing the blood flow to the brain to the point, and a daily practice, and maybe doing it even 2 to 3 times per day. What's the long-term implications? And none of us know the idea there. I think Wim Hof is doing tremendous work in putting his breathing techniques out there, in getting awareness of breathing and driving breathing. There's a place definitely for stressor breathing exercises. We use them too. We do one breathing exercise now. We have brought in hyperventilation. We were doing breath holding anyway. So there is a role, but just as even with our own breathing exercises, I've made mistakes with them, and I've put people into not good situations, driving up their anxiety, driving up their panic. That's why I'm always cautious with giving breathing exercises out there as a kind of one size fits all. It's not that way. And there will be people who will fall between the stools. There will be people who maybe the harder and faster breathing, it shouldn't be for them. Maybe they should be down regulated. And the other thing from a breathing perspective is, I suppose it comes back to my background. I was working with chronically sick people. That was my main work, always, still is to this day. It's only since 2013 that I've been working with healthy people with oxygen advantage. But before that, it was chronic sick people. I have to look at people's breathing 24/7. And if we're going to stress their breathing, if we're going to stress their body and mind, we also need to bring in recovery. So there's a few aspects to it. So overall, a wonderful technique, the Wim Hof method is. It should be tailored to the individual. If somebody is practicing it and they feel that they're not quite sure, maybe instead of taking 30 hyperventilating breaths, maybe do 10. Do 10 hyperventilating breaths, then exhale and hold. Hold for a moderate air hunger. Then breathe in and hold your breath for 5 to 10 seconds. Then do 10 hyperventilation. And if you feel that's fine, if you're listening to your body and your body is telling you, yes, this is really good for me, then you could try 15, try 20. But dip your toes into the water. It's the way I work when I'm working with people with anxiety or panic disorder, because I would assume that quite a few people are drawn to the Wim Hof technique, not just for physical performance, but also from the mental health point of view. I think it's important to dip the toe into the water and to see how does your body react, and then just gauge it, but also pay attention to your blood oxygen saturation. Do some research yourself. Do you really want your blood oxygen saturation going below 60%? That's a question. We don't have the answer.